Agwa nunu chenu ka m gwa gị.
Wow. Hello friend, hello, you are welcome to Life Center Network today, your gateway to possibilities. So this is Life Center Network, and you are on again with me on our beautiful and exciting storytelling show, titled Folktales Fiesta with Auntie Chidima. So I am so happy to have you today, and it's going to be an amazing moment as we get into today's episode. One more time, welcome to Life Center Network, and particularly welcome to Folktales Fiesta with Auntie Chidima. Folktales Fiesta with Auntie Chidima is a family storytelling show that helps children, to learn mother tongue, and apart from that, help them have fun as we enjoy lots and lots of folklore, and from which we learn moral values and we enjoy ourselves. We call it merrymaking, singing the different songs that have to do with the story for the day, and at the end of the day we pick out the different lessons that help our character development. So yeah, it's not for children alone, it's for every member of the family. We are projecting mother tongue because we know we should be proud of our roots. All right, today, like the other time, I'm not in the studio with my friends, your friends. I'm just here by myself, and I should feel sad a little, but it's okay because I have you. I have you. You are here today, and that makes me super elated. So let's get ready to enjoy today's story. Remember the last time we had a Yoruba story, so Auntie Chidima was dressed like a Yoruba girl. Today I'm wearing my early years educator attire to tell today's story. Usually on Folktales Fiesta with Auntie Chidima, my friends and I introduce ourselves using our mother tongue. So I'll do just that right away. Ahambu Auntie Chidima. Ana Kwakwanum, the early years educator. That means I am Auntie Chidima. I'm also called the early years educator. I am your favorite storyteller, and on this show, Folktales Fiesta with Auntie Chidima, you will hear lots and lots of stories on our different episodes that will help you relax and learn. So it's time to begin. Would you want to guess with me? Of course, because I'm not wearing anything that would suggest to you where we are headed today. Would you want to try to guess? Could it be Yoruba again? Or Hausa? Or Ogoni? Or Kalabari? Or maybe Igbo? Or Andani? Don't worry, I'm not going to let you guess for too long. Today we are having a story that portrays the Igbo language. Yes. The title of our story today is The Generous Boy Who Became King. I'll say that again. The title of today's story is The Generous Boy Who Became King. Long, long time ago, in a faraway land called Obasa Kingdom, there lived a king who had 3 wives and many children. 9 actually. No, sorry, 10 children. He had 9 sons and a daughter. 9 sons and 1 daughter. So the king and his children and wives lived so happily with so much affluence in Obasa kingdom. And there were many people in Obasa kingdom. They were mostly farmers. Now, while the king lived in so much abundance with his family, and despite the large and lots of large farmlands in Obasa kingdom, the people of Obasa had relative poverty. They had lack. They were not enjoying themselves, living in sufficiency like the king and his family. And this continued for a long time. The king didn't seem to care, neither did his sons care, except for one. The last son and the only daughter seemed to have a kind heart. Now, one time, the king took ill. He was sick for a long time, and he wasn't getting better after one herbalist after another and another and another had come to take care of him. He wasn't getting well as everyone expected. So at a point in time, the Council of Chiefs had to start consulting, talking to themselves. We have to look into this issue. We're not going to be without a king for a long time. The king is no longer strong. We need to consider who is the heir apparent and know how this kingdom will run. Yes. I think you're right. So they started considering options, and the option was for the king to name one of the sons who would take over the kingdom after him in case the king passed on. So that very day, the Council of Chiefs came to see the king on his sickbed, and they greeted. Eze, Igadio, O king, live forever. And when they greeted him, they sat down around his bedside. And as they looked at him to know how he was faring, they told him they were here for serious business. They needed to talk about the kingdom. They needed to speak to him about how Obasa kingdom was faring. And the king gave them attention. He listened and asked them to go ahead. Even though I am not feeling very strong, whatever you will have come to talk about, I am ready to talk about it. Just go ahead. I'm ready to listen. So they started telling him, "O king, live forever. We wish you well, but just in case it is the will of the gods for you to join our ancestors very soon, we think it's time you named your heir apparent. You need to tell us who is going to be taking over from you when you join our ancestors." So while he was saying that, or rather while the chiefs were saying that, the king listened attentively, and one of the wives, the first wife actually, interrupted and said, Council of Chiefs, that's not a problem. My first son is my child is the first son, so obviously he is the heir apparent. He is the one that will take over from the king. So I don't think we have a problem here. So while they were listening to her and wondering if she was right or wrong, the chief priest walked into the meeting, bang, bang, with his, with his staff, and then with all that noise and some sort of mannerisms here and there. You know how the chief priests behave. He walked in and just stomped his stick on the floor and said, "Well, O king, live forever. Eze, Igadio. All right, Council of Chiefs, I am here to announce a word from the gods. The gods have decided to pick the heir to the throne. The gods have decided they will pick by themselves the heir to the throne. So it's not going to happen by biological birth. It's not about who is the first son or the second son or the third son or the last son. Out of the 9 sons, the gods will choose by themselves who the heir to the throne, who will become our next king. That's the word from the gods. And quickly he walked out of their presence. So when he left, all the chiefs started looking at themselves. Did you just hear that? The king too, in the midst of his pain, his illness, was wondering what exactly just happened. The gods are going to choose for themselves. Oh, really? So while everyone was pondering on exactly what that meant, the king covered himself and stayed on the bed and said, well, the gods have spoken. So the council of chiefs had to leave. And the next day, the chief priest came back again to say that the gods were giving a test all over the land, around the palace, to find out rather who will be the next king. So everyone waited and watched out for whatever this test was going to be. Now, the king's sons, 8 of them except the last one, have been people who were wasteful. They weren't kind to people. They will be nasty to members, people in the village. They, flaunted their pride about them being princes, the wealth of their father as king. They weren't respectful at all. So that continued. Now they didn't know what the test was going to look like. The next day, a bird flew just around the palace, flew around and perched by the window of the first son and started saying, please give me, the bird sang and sang, please give me some food to eat. Give me some food to eat. Give me some water to drink. And despite that the bird was talking, this first son, what kind of disturbance is this? Why am I not going to sleep in peace? What is that? Will you get out of here? Leave here. And that same nasty behavior, the first son drove the bird away. And this bird went in the same manner to the window of the second son, to the third son, the fourth son, and all the way to the 8th son. And they all behaved alike. They were nasty, they were rude, they were not kind to the bird. They never knew it was a test from the gods concerning the kingship. Now, when the bird flew and got to the window of the 9th son, whose name actually was Ukpaka. His name was Ukpaka. The bird got there, and like it sang for the others, it called the prince, the 9th prince, the 9th son by name, Ukpaka, and started singing to the boy. And I will sing and you will learn and possibly sing along with me. I hope you're ready. Okay. So like I said, the bird flew and got to the window of the 9th son called Ukpaka and started singing. Ukpaka nyemuri, unege ukpaka nyemuri, unege nyemri kamye, unege nyemiri kango, unege ukpaka nyemuri, unege ukpaka nyemuri, unege nyemiri kango, unege nyemuri kanye, unege ukpaka nyemuri, unege ukpaka nyemuri, unege nyemiri kango, unege nyemuri kanye, unege. Meaning, Ukpaka, please give me food. Ukpaka, please give me food. Give me food to eat. Give me water to drink. And that bird kept singing and kept singing. Ukpaka opened the window. I was looking at the bird and smiled. And the bird continued. Ukpaka nyemiri, unege ukpaka nyemiri, unege nyemuri kanrie, unege nyemiri kango, unege ukpaka nyemuri, unege ukpaka nyemuri, unege nyemuri kanrie, unege ukpaka nyemuri, unege ukpaka nyemuri, unege nyemuri kanrie, unege nyemiri kango, unege. Ukpaka was impressed and said, what a bird, you have such a nice voice, and went inside, brought some nuts and threw at the bird, and the bird with the beak, picked everything and munched it down, gulped it down the throat. And Ukpaka also brought a little water in a cup and served the bird, and was just musing and watching the bird eat and drink and laughing about it. While that was going on, Ukpaka nor his brothers knew that this was a test from the gods. They never knew. They never knew at all. So the bird finished eating and flew away and came back the next day, just in case Ukpaka was just trying to be nice coincidentally. The bird came again the second day and started singing, Ukpaka nye muri, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege nye muri kanrie, unege nye miri kanwo, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege nye miri kanrie, unege nye miri kanwo, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege nye miri kanwo, unege nye muri kanrie, unege nye muri kanrie, unege nye miri kanwo, unege. Ukpaka went in again and brought some nuts for this bird, and the bird, same thing, used the beak to and picked up all the nuts and ate them all. And he served the bird some water again, and the bird and gulped everything, drank up all the water. This happened again the third day. By day number 3, Ukpaka had fed this strange bird, this mysterious bird, for 3 times without knowing that it was the test that the gods had set out to pick whoever will be the king after the king passes on. So, all that happened so swiftly. By the next market day, all the chiefs were gathered, waiting for the chief priest to come again to announce whatever is going on. Maybe the test has happened and whoever has been chosen as the king. As they were seated just by the king's bed, the chief priest, as usual, walked with his staff like that and stamped it on the floor and arrived just like that with so much power. O king, live forever. O council of chiefs, I'm back again, and I have the word from the gods. I'm ready to announce the heir apparent to the throne of Obasa kingdom. And they all listened. Who exactly will this be? Will it be prince number 1, prince number 2, prince number 3, or prince number 4, prince number 5, prince number 6, prince number 7, or prince number 8, or prince number 9? Everyone wondered who exactly was going to become the new king. And the chief priest announced that Ukpaka, the 9th prince, has been chosen by the gods as the heir apparent and the next king of Obasa kingdom. While some people were shouting, wow, woo, you know, the whole palace was just ringing with a solid lot of excitement. Rather, there was so much noise. There were others too who were not happy. Amongst these 3 wives, someone wasn't what's his name now? The last son, Ukpaka's mother. So it really felt so sad for some of the wives and some of the members of the palace versus those who were happy. As the noise, this mixed noise, right, was going on in the palace, everyone was shouting. There was so much noise. So this other group was, what is the meaning of that? How can it be Ukpaka? And then one person even started to make it more nasty. Ukpaka is not even the son of the king. And while everyone was, what do you mean by that? The king reminded them, yes, that he took Ukpaka from a family that had lost their mom and dad, a missing couple in the village. They had woken up one morning and seen that a husband and a wife had gone missing mysteriously. And the king, with a good heart, took the boy and started raising him. He came into the palace as a baby. And with that, the boy was part of the kingdom, or rather the kingship, and the 9th son by adoption of the king. So while those who knew that the first wives trying to make trouble, the king said, well, he was a son. And the chief priest announced that no matter whatever the story was about, Ukpaka has been chosen because of his generosity to the gods. That was when the chief priest declared that on so and so day, the gods sent out a bird as a test to all the sons of the king. Everyone had the same opportunity to show if they could become the next king. And all 8 sons failed, except the 9th son, Ukpaka, who passed his test over and again when he gave to the bird, the strange bird, both food and water when the bird requested. And on that explanation and announcement, everyone sheathed their sword because they knew the game was up and that truly the king has been chosen. And everyone bowed before Ukpaka and shouted, Eze Igadio, O king, live forever. And that was how the prince, the 9th prince, was chosen. And by the next day, like they feared, the sick king joined his ancestors. He died, and Ukpaka was crowned the next king of Obasa kingdom. And both the new king and every villager, all the members of the Obasa kingdom, lived happily ever after. That's the end of today's story, and I'm sure you should be clapping. Wow, okay, that's it, today's story. Did you learn a thing or more? Did you hear me say, Eze Igadio, O king, live forever? And you remember the song? Now let's take it again. Ukpaka nye muri, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege nye mri kamrie, unege nye miri kango, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege nye muri kamrie, unege nye miri kango, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege ukpaka nye muri, unege nye muri kamrie, unege nye miri kango. Unege. And with my demonstration, I believe you will guess the meaning of the words of the Igbo song. Ukpaka, give me some food. Ukpaka, give me some food to eat. Ukpaka, give me some water to drink. Nri means food. Miri means water. Nyem means give me. Nyemuri kanrie, give me food to eat. Nyem, nyem, give me. Those are a few words from today's story that you can use to learn your own mother tongue too. How do you say give me in your mother tongue? How do you say water in your mother tongue? How do you say food in your mother tongue? Now, if you're a mom or dad watching, that's an assignment. Make sure you teach your children how to say that in your mother tongue. And hello, child, insist on learning from mommy and daddy. Be proud of your roots. Learn your language, learn your mother language, and always try to speak. It doesn't matter how badly you're speaking, just go ahead and speak. And little by little, you will get better. Now, before we wrap it up today, usually I try to tie it folktale to at least one Bible lesson. One thing you will learn from the story is that Ukpaka became the king because of his kind heart, because of his generosity. And the Bible tells us, give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaking together and running over, shall men give unto you when you give. You can see that really showed in the story of Ukpaka. He gave and gave and gave. He didn't know that he was giving and it was being pressed down and it was going to be given back to him in the form of kingship. So when it's going to come back to you, it will come in any form. But as for harvest, as for reaping your good deeds, as for having a big return, big or small return on whatever you give, you sure will have it come back to you. So do not forget that Bible verse, and do not forget that it's important for you to be generous. We've seen that in the story of the boy who became king, the generous boy who became king. That it pays to be generous, it pays to be kind. It's foolish to be nasty, it's foolish to be rude. You can never tell how far your bad behavior can get you into trouble. You can't also tell how far your good behavior can get you into good things. So from Okpaka, in today's story, we learned that it's important to be generous. Be generous to those you know, be generous to those you do not know, and just be a generous person. And I hope those few lessons today will help you, as the great child I believe you are, to behave better this week. That is it from today's episode on FOLKTALES Fiesta with Auntie Chidima. I hope you've enjoyed yourself with us today, and I hope that you've learned at least a few words in today's story in the Igbo language, and I hope you've also learned the story, rather the lessons from today's story. With all of this, I desire that you will keep improving in your character and enjoying yourself as a child. It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. And I'm going to miss you, but not to worry. We'll see you again, same station, next week and same time on FOLKTALES Fiesta with Auntie Chidima. Bye. Do have a great weekend.